And welcome everybody to the DLLS Stars post-game show. Yeah, I unmuted myself. Sorry, Ryan. I was just trying to tweet the link so people knew we were actually live. This is the DLLS Stars post-game show. I'm Owen Newkirk alongside Craig Ludwig in new locations. We'll get into all of that in a moment. But first, Luds, while I finish this tweet, tell everybody about those new shirts.
The new ones? The two new ones? I'm supposed to talk over this. Oh, there they are. There's Robo. There's Wyatt Johnston, who did not get a power play goal tonight, but Robo got a goal tonight and kind of had an assist on the final goal, if you want to look at it that way. But regardless of that, two cool shirts here. The Robo robotic I score every other night guy, and then the Wyatt Johnston sharpshooter shirt.
Perfect. That was the time I needed. Welcome everybody to the
DLLS. I figured I was getting a curveball there, I think.
You did. I thought I could get it done. And then when I heard the music starting, I went, uh-oh. I want to make sure everybody knows that we are indeed on. Welcome everybody. And thanks for being patient with us for a little delay. As you can see, we are no longer in our downtown DLLS studios in Dallas because we lost power. And it was midway through the second period. The Dallas Stars were winning 1-0, and then all of a sudden, all of our televisions in our lounge upstairs went blank. And yet there were still lights on in our lounge because apparently there's two different electrical connections, but it wasn't just part of our top floor studios. It was the whole building, the elevator, the restaurant next door, Luds' favorite Hooters, and some of the surrounding city block. And yet the kitchen upstairs in our lounge had electricity, and you should have seen, Luds, actually, I would really like you to describe this. The efforts we took, particularly you and our producer, Ryan, in trying to get us internet Wi-Fi and on before we decided to bail and head home.
Well, I had to put the cape on and go to work. So and all fridges should be powered up regardless of what happens. You know, I mean, because there's important product inside those fridges. So I think we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cords strapped together, which is why I've been complaining for a year and a half now. Let's get some extension cords in the studio. So, you know, anyway.
Wait, pat yourself on the back. Without that, we wouldn't even been able to try.
Oh, you're right. You're right. We wouldn't have been. Well, it didn't matter anyways.
Yeah, but the effort counts for something.
So I went on a recon mission, and I did find a little white thing up in the ceiling, and I had to ask everybody, isn't that a router or something up there? And, oh, yeah, that's what that is. And then silence. I said, well, isn't the light supposed to be on that thing? Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be. So then Ryan decided to go downstairs and check the fuse box. And then he says to me, I go down, I check one. I go down and said, Ryan, what's there? I don't know. It's locked. I said, it's locked? When's the fuse box is getting locked? I don't know. It's locked. I go over there and hit the little latch, and it pops open and comes right open. So there was our electrician over there, and we thought we had it. Anyway, we found the little room where our advertising people are that aren't there, and we found out the lights are off there, and we ran all extension cords there, and we thought we had it fixed, and then it wasn't even us.
Nope.
Down the street 3 blocks.
So the fun part is Luds put together 1, 2, 3 extension cords and 2 power strips in a sequence to try to plug our gateway, our internet switch rack, and said router or Wi-Fi spreader, whatever you want to call it, expander. He got power to all of it because apparently some of the outlets in our office still worked, even though all the lights in the main studio went off. I think the air conditioning for the building turned off. The elevator wasn't working. Like I said, all our TVs. Yet all it did was turn on a Wi-Fi signal, but there was no internet broadcasting because of that. And of course, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out though, and all of this going on to Tanner. So Tanner came in early to get ready for the Mavs. Tanner's he's the Mavs producer.
No, you can say
Tanner a long time ago over there at Fox. Anyway, I'm in there and I'm laying underneath the table trying to get the cords plugged in, and I'm yelling, Tanner. And And I walk out there and he's sitting in his chair. He didn't move the whole time. And I said, Tanner, can you see if there's a couple more extension cords somewhere around here? I go back in there, can't find him, look around. I walk by Tanner again, and he's still sitting in the same chair. Never even spun the chair around.
Nope, lads, can't see it.
Nope. Next thing you know, he's packing up his little knapsack or whatever you put on your shoulder there, and he was heading home with his Shiner Bach and going to get ready to do their show tonight from home also, I guess.
I think he made the right move. So you plugged it all in, everything powered up, but there was no internet. So that's when we had to make the rather quick decision, because I believe at that point we were at about 3 or 4 minutes left in the second intermission with the game tied at 1. And Ryan with our assistance, but Ryan made the executive call. All right, guys, we're driving home to our various points of residence around DFW, and we're going to reconnect via StreamYard, and here we are for the post show. So that's why, as we join you now, we, I believe, consumed the entire third period on Victory Plus on our phones in cars driving.
Playing Frogger all the way home.
Did you see me pass you and then you passed me about 4 or 5 times on 35? Because there's construction on the tollway, so Waze took me your way. I'm literally next to you. I waved at you twice. I think you were watching the game and not the road. But
I was trying to watch the game, and then the screen on my cell phone, for some reason, it must have some kind of light thing, because all of a sudden it goes dark.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm trying to really pay attention to it, and regardless, I couldn't see what was going on. I was laughing, listening to Razor and Josh. Thank you.
I was either ahead of you, next to you, or right behind you, all the way up to about the Sam Rayburn Tollway. I had to go east. You kept going up toward where you live, and that's when I no longer was worried about getting hit by a guy watching a hockey game and not the road. So we made it that far. We got home, and then the game ended. I believe I was 50 feet from my driveway, which is on the McKinney-Frisco border. So it's a bit of a haul from downtown, but that's what happens. Ryan had to drive all the way to parts around Fort Worth from downtown. You made it back to your spot near the lake.
I got here with 30 seconds to go in the game.
Okay, so you're a little closer.
I got to see OT.
Okay. So I had to listen to OT while I was making my way up Independence towards the house. And, yep, today the Stars got a point, which means they've had points now in 17 of their last 18 games. They are 15-1-2 in that run. But they do lose in OT. And so Minnesota kind of keeps their hopes alive, Luds. We'll break it all down. We actually had some really nice video breakdowns, which will not be used because they're on the downtown equipment, which doesn't convey on our remote. But we were talking pregame. Minnesota needed this win. If Dallas won this game, even in overtime, but especially in regulation, you could all pretty much kiss the Wild's chances of catching the Stars for that second place spot in the division, possible home ice in the first round. Goodbye. They may still not have that chance because Dallas has 2 games in hand. They still have a 5-point lead. But the Wild, especially with the way they've played lately, Luds, they really needed those 2 points. So do the Stars. They're trying to catch Colorado.
Well, I think anytime there's a team ahead of you, you desperately need those points more importantly than any other points that are out there, because it's the only way that team doesn't get the same 2 that you got. So it's basically called a 4-point game, which they only got 1 out of tonight.
The one thing I wanted to say that we were talking about Thursday, I was going to say yesterday, but it was during our Thursday show where we were talking about the chances of winning the President's Trophy versus not. And we had the conversation, which we've talked multiple times about, not really getting the regular season record support from the league's playoff format like you should, meaning you have to play maybe the number 3 team in the West and maybe the 3rd or 4th best team in the league in the first round, and then the best team in the league in the second round if it finishes Colorado 1, Dallas 2, Minnesota 3. One of the things I did want to mention, Luds, because we were talking about, well, do you play Minnesota in the first round as the home seed or the road seed? If they do catch Colorado, would you rather play a team like Seattle or maybe San Jose or the way they're going, Edmonton in the first round as opposed to playing Minnesota?
No, you know what? I'm okay with. I mean, I guess I just have confidence that, and in regard, they didn't have they didn't have 2 or 3 players in the lineup. Dallas doesn't either. I mean, you're looking at Dallas still missing Hintz and, and a big gun. But I think when Mikko gets back and Hintz gets back, it's a different look. And, they had some just think about the opportunities that Dallas had in the power plays here, right? And I know they had good opportunities, they had good chances, but again, those 2 guys make a big difference in that neighborhood. So no, I still feel that, if they can get Hughes and, they're going to get, they'll get Kirill back, they get Kaprizov back. So that's somebody else that's obviously very important to them. And he can be a game breaker for sure. I just think that I'm confident, I guess I should say, of Dallas playing Minnesota. What I don't think anyone wants to. I don't want to see him go 7 games. I'd like to see it get over so guys can get, a little rest in between rounds.
Bing bang. We usually do super chats later in the show, but this is a big one. And so when we get one this size or higher, we have to break in immediately. Luds, we've got a Ritzkovian and a 99 Cup year. Big super chat from Nathan Wilkes. Who do I need to bribe at Victory Plus to finally make end zone cams the power play default? I will say that I disagree with this for live broadcasts. I like watching this angle when they show replays after, say, a chance or a goal, but I prefer the main game camera as opposed to the N1 live. I'd rather watch the different angles on replay only. What do you think?
I like to see every angle. So I'm not even sure what an end zone cam is. I don't know what the hell we're talking about.
How about, do you want to watch the power play during live play from the camera behind the net?
Oh, no. Yeah, no, I don't even like sitting back there. Well, I mean, not that I've sat back there much, but I think it's awful. I mean, you can't see the other end of the rink. You can't see anybody in front of the net. So yeah, if that's what you're talking about, that's what we're talking about, that camera back there.
Right, not the one in the goal, but the one above the glass.
Yeah. No, not my favorite look either.
Is that you're okay with it as a replay angle, but as the main broadcast?
I agree with you. I think as many angles as you can get when it gets to the replay, because how many times do we think we have it figured out, and then there's that one cam angle, wherever it is, there's that one angle that goes, oh, wait a second, didn't see that one. So
the first goal today, which we'll talk about, actually applies for that.
So, and again, this is a good lesson for everybody else, and it's a lesson for me that a long, long time ago, our goalie coach for the U18 team, I was given a goaltender, he's got to stop that puck. And Cam came down and he goes, listen, dude, you got to, it's all about perspective. Like, you're not looking through his eyes. And so, and he was 100% right. Like, if you can get behind him and above him, now all of a sudden, that's why we try to show the angles from behind as much as possible, because you may think the goalie or the goaler, whatever you want to call it, should have that. And there's a lot of times you're like, no, now you can see the bigger the players are. Number one, they don't have the same kind of vision anymore. The guys are in front of the net. Defensemen don't seal out like they used to. And then it may touch somebody's skate lace, or it may take a hop, and all those kind of things. So as many angles as we can get, the better we can make our decisions a little easier.
So a comment from Grundle Gobbler, one of your favorite handles. The camera view when Bastian got taken down was ridiculous. Josh and Razor going crazy, and we just see Jake sitting there. That's that end-on camera where we had to sort of see from a distance, because they didn't catch it on the main game camera, Luds, of when Zuccarello did that sort of headlock takedown.
That's the only video I got to break down. The only one we're not going to see it.
All right, well, let's talk about that, some goals and more next here on the DLLS Stars postgame show. All right, Luds, take a breather. I got this, because let's talk about Prize Picks. The playoff push is heating up, and tournament hoops are here. And there's no better way to cash in on the flying hoops action, the high flying hoops action, that is, than with Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Every bucket, every dime, and every win means more when you're playing on Prize Picks. So you don't pass up your next shot with Prize Picks and get $50 off instantly. Or not, sorry, let me say that again. $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. How about that? $50 from Prize Picks instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. See, I said it twice and I got it right this time. It's so much fun to play. And here's the best part. You can just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college, basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. And of course, it is part of millions of users to sign up for America's #1 sports pick app. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use the code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. You know that moment, the one where you realize that your favorite pair of sunglasses aren't with you anymore. They fell out of your pocket, or maybe you realize, oh no, I put them down to wash my hands at that gas station, which you probably shouldn't put down. You don't know how clean that sink is. And now 3 days, you're not turning around to go get the sunglasses, or maybe you fell out and they scratched on the concrete driveway, or you stepped on them, or that dog of yours just ran in and chewed them up. Well, here's the best part about Shady Rays. Besides the fact that they're made for real life with seriously good-looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive frames, they have a lost or broken replacements protection plan. Meaning, if you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can actually wear your sunglasses without fear, whatever you do, whether it's bombing up 35 to try to get home for a post-game show, or sitting at the party boat, or wherever drugstore you're about to try to buy all the medication for. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. Go to shadyrays.com, use the code SRDLLS for 40% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. That's shadyrays.com with code SRDLLS. Whew. All right. Luds, I know you're fired up about that, but let's talk about this hockey game. What of this game do you think you actually consumed? Let's start there. How much do you think you watched versus listened to?
Well, we saw parts of the first period. So,
well, let's start there.
I do remember Robo's goal. Okay. Again, I don't know if we want to jump to the goal. Do you want to talk about scoring chances and all that? I do.
Well, we have some time because we don't have our breakdown video clips and stuff. So I wanted to start with the fact that Jake Ottinger played another heck of a hockey game, and the parts we saw and then the parts we listened to, it sure sounded like he was on his game. And he started with a point blank save just above the crease on Marcus Johansson in the first, I want to say 15 to 20 seconds of the afternoon contest.
Wouldn't you say, and I don't know if you've seen everything that came out after the game, especially for the stars, wouldn't you say that both goaltenders should be in the top 2 stars of the game?
You'd think that it'd be probably winning goalie, losing goalie, 1-2.
It's not.
Oh, is it really?
Well, no. I don't know. And normally in the opponent's building, they don't really.
Okay, Luds, if you had to guess right now, and you're right, it's not. Which goalie was left off the 3 stars altogether?
Only 2 goalies played, so I'm gonna guess it was the Dallas Stars goalie.
Very shrewd deduction of you.
And then let me guess. Tarasenko got 3rd star.
Nope.
Oh,
he's on there, but he's not 3rd.
Oh, well, then obviously he's 2nd. Or did he get 1st?
He got 1st.
So then Gustafson got 2nd star.
Nope.
Oh, Jesus. I thought that dude was good.
He got 3rd star.
Well, I mean, are they going to go with Hughes or Faber?
Believe it or not, give them credit. They did pick a Dallas Star, that they did not pick Jake Ottinger.
Well, let's see. Would they pick Robo in that building? Well, maybe Billy Karen was picking stars. Oh, no, that's right. He didn't want Robo. That's right.
Believe it or not, Jake Ottinger, who by the final game numbers finished with 26 saves on 28 shots, which actually seems lighter than, at least from the broadcast viewing and listening parts that we did today. He sounded like he came up with some pretty dandy saves in this game. I feel like he should have been at least the 3rd star, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was really good. I mean, again, I think both goalies. Gustafson especially was good shorthanded. You know, he was pretty big on the Dallas Stars power play. You know, even though Dallas.
I totally agree.
But I still think that he played a great game. For me, both goaltenders are 1 and 2, just because. I mean, I don't. the thing with Vlad always seems to get them big kind of goals, big timing goals, things like that. But if you would have asked me how he played in the rest of the game, I don't even know. Did he have 3 shots in the course of the game?
Let's take a look at his stat line. So Vladimir Tarasenko had 2 shots on goal, 2 missed shots, so 4 total attempts in 1739 of ice time.
That includes the overtime.
That includes the overtime.
So he had 1 shot, 5-on-5.
1 shot on net and 3 attempts.
That's what I mean. Like you don't. Again, that's fine if you get that big goal for him, but I would never pick him for a stop. Again,
yeah, I mean, a lot of they do that like game-winning goal. Yeah,
I got it. I get that. But if the game didn't go to OT, I don't think he'd be on one of my 3 starts.
So before we get to the Robo goal, because we're in the first period breakdown, let's talk about the play you did break down from memory, although you don't have your visual aids, which is the Matt Zuccarello UFC style takedown of Nathan Bastian, as we were talking about weird camera angles in our last segment.
Well, what happened is Bastian got the original, and then Zuccarello kind of went back at him, and then he did a little thing with him. So now it's even. And then when they get to the blue line, Zuccarello doesn't stop. And then he basically takes him down again. And you can even see, man, I wish we had it. It took me so long.
Do you remember some of the details you had?
Yeah, I had Mr. Happy, the Hines, the coach. You know, he's always in a great mood. You can tell that. But anyway, Zuccarello went back and he got the extra, and he deserved it. I mean, again, the referee standing right there, and the referee actually pointed to the first Bastian. Then he pointed to Zuccarello. And then he stood there. And then when Zuccarello jumped back in there, he kind of turned around and took him down. Then he gave him one right there. And then Hines is on the bench going, wait, what? How can that be? That's all good coaches do. I should just say that. Like, what do you mean? So.
Well, why do we talk so much about this? 1, because it was an interesting play. 2, because it led to a power play of 11 seconds. This was by far the most efficient and best Stars power play of the game. They had plenty more chances we'll get to, but Luds, can you break this down from memory or from your phone? Because we don't have the video clip that we were preparing, but that's okay.
Really, there wasn't a ton to it, to be honest with you. I mean, Robo has the puck. He gets it down near the goal line, and he kind of comes all the way up towards his own blue line. He makes one little swoop down, and Minnesota played it well. They had the lanes taken care of. There was no other opening, so what does Robo do? He takes another pass at it. So he goes back up again, and then what happened is that the Minnesota players kind of gave up more of the net. And so he gets the first look. He gets the first shot. And I think it was Faber that it hits Faber's stick first, and then it hits Middleton. Well,
look what he has.
Oh, well, I thought we didn't have this thing for crying out.
I thought so too. I don't know what he pulled off.
That boy, Ryan. So anyway, this is what I was talking about. Here's his first pass. He comes down. He doesn't have anything to look at. He goes back up. He makes the second pass up to the top. Then once he comes down, which would be click, there you go. Now he's looking, and he sees a shooting lane this time. But here's where a stick comes into play. Magnifying glass, maybe, if I remember this all right. Yep, there it is. So there is the stick on puck, which is what you're supposed to do. Robo lets it go. Now that's not done. The next one goes down. Another magnifying glass. Good job, Lutz. That's the one that goes off of Middleton's skate, and then ultimately – Gustafson doesn't have a chance on this one because, again, it deflects 2 different times, and Robo's on the board.
38th goal of the year, 2 away from 40 again, which I don't think is really a concern. I'm not sure at his current pace if he's going to hit 50. I know a couple weeks ago I outlined how it could happen. He's cooled off a little bit, and part of that I think is because of the absence of Roope Hintz as much as Mikko Rantanen, just because of what Hintz does to help give Jason Robertson more scoring opportunities. He still had plenty, Luds, but lately I feel like because Hintz and Rantanen have been gone, Robo's turned to a little bit more of a passer, and that's not a bad thing for his game.
No, it's not, but I think he is a shooter. That's what he is, you know. So, yeah, I think Robo is doing everything he can to kind of pick up everything for the other 2 guys being out of the lineup. Again, I like when he's intent with his shot because his shots, for me, again, I always was a tendency kind of guy. When Robo shoots and you know, gets 2 of them opportunities, now all of a sudden as a defenseman, you're thinking he's a shooter. So you get into a passer in that shooting lane more than you would. So you ultimately sometimes take you out of a take yourself from probably a better spot to defend, and then you get yourself in that shooting lane. Then his ability to come and make that little pass, because he's not exactly like Rantanen, but he can still make it look like he's taking that shot, and then he comes across the front of his body, and then he can make that pass off to the other side of the net.
Luds, I want to go back through a couple of first period scoring chances that happened before the Robo power play goal, and then one that came afterwards. And then we'll get to, in the next segment, the second period with the Bobby Brink goal, the third period, which we listened to and maybe saw through osmosis, and the overtime goal, which you watched. I watched after the fact. But anyway, we'll get to that. I mentioned the Johansson one at the beginning of the period. Tyler Myers had a one-timer from the inside of the right circle. And I bring this up not only because it was a high danger chance, but once or twice a game, he's finding a way to get a grade A chance. He hasn't scored since, I said this before, mid to late October, but I have this nagging hunch that he's going to get one or two before the end of the regular season. I know that's not what his game is necessarily predicated for this team. As we played in the pregame show, his clip about how he likes the system and it really suits his play, not just chasing guys man on man. But I feel like he's going to have a goal or two before the end of this regular season.
Oh, I think what it tells you the most is he's settling in. He's feeling comfortable with the other four guys on the ice, knowing that he can take that little bit of a chance. Number one, his partner is going to be back there. They can read off each other. And you can see a lot of times Dallas generally has a third guy, meaning a forward, third guy high in the offensive zone, which allows defensemen to come down a little deeper in the zone.
There was a play when it was still 0-0 where Wyatt Johnston did a toe drag to a backhand in the slot. Gustafsson made the save, and then the Stars got the puck again, and he was all of a sudden found open in the slot, and I believe Quinn Hughes got a touch on it. Just a little bit of a deflection with his stick and forced it wide, because at first I thought Wyatt maybe just missed it. I mean, it was a glorious position, but I think Hughes, even reaching from behind a little bit, Luds, was able to just deflect it enough to force it wide, and that was Dallas's other big-time chance, was that Wyatt shot in the slot.
I'll have to trust you on that one. I think I was going through the beer cooler.
You're probably doing that. But do you remember either of the other two for Minnesota, which was the Brock Faber wraparound at the left post offensively? It would have been Jake's right. Or the Matt Boldy took a one-timer in the high slot, and Danila Yurov had a rebound in the low slot, top of crease area, put it through the 5-hole of Jake, and just missed it wide to the right.
Yeah, that was kind of hard to believe that it didn't go through there. But you mentioned Brock Faber. I really like the way he picks his spots. You know, I mean, I a little bit more than probably Quinn Hughes does. And when Faber does, he sees the daylight down the wall a lot of times, and then he gets behind the net. He loses somebody that's trying to chase him, and then he likes that little wraparound, which Hughes will come down there sometimes, but he may make another lap around the whole, offensive zone. And so I like that. The Faber, they're really going to like this guy in a couple of years, and he's going to continue to get better and better.
He was already on the track to be a really good defenseman in this league, but to have Quinn Hughes as a mentor, not just for the Wild, but also, of course, for Team USA, that has to be an incredible value. I don't know if it's exactly the same thing as Wyatt Johnston with Joe Pavelski, but Quinn Hughes, Brock Faber, I'm sure Billy Guerin's thrilled to have him learning from Quinn.
And I would think that because of so elusive that Hughes is and the things that he can see offensively, how he plays the game, I would think he's sharing some of those things with Faber and just saying, you get into this area of the ice here, this opens up over here, or look for this or look for that. And I think that he's probably benefited so much with being a partner with him. And now that they've split him up, I think it's a smart thing to do, because now you've got, those guys coming at you 40, 45 minutes a game, one or the other.
All right. So we're going to take a quick ad break. When we return, let's talk about the Bobby Brink goal, some of the other second period chances, third period, overtime. You know the drill. This is the DLS Stars post-game show after an overtime Wild 2-1 win over the Stars.
Well, in honor of our fallen comrade again, I think we pull up the let's pull up the hats. There we go. We just got to get a little piece of our little buddy Sam. We're not quite sure.
Oh, poor Gilligan.
We're not quite sure what happened to Sam, but he's out there somewhere, folks. He's doing fine.
Hopefully he's like attached to the little rope at the back of the boat and still being dragged along.
Well, remember that little buoy on the back that says yeah. So anyway, that's Sam's little hat over there on the left-hand side. Then the DLS hat. And we need to pull up the Robo shot one more time. We talked about Robo and Wyatt in the pregame show. And apparently Robo was the only one that was missing. And so Robo got that one goal tonight. Wyatt Johnston did not break the record in Minnesota, which I'm sure a couple people there may be happy. But there they are. And one more for the Finns. How about the Finnish Mafia? We haven't talked about the hoodie in a while, and that they are going to be complete within the next 2 to 3 weeks. There you go.
I like that news. Let's talk about the Supporters Club, Luds, because I saw somebody in the chat during our pregame, and I didn't want to stop down our conversation, but I thought it was pretty funny. It might have been Harry who suggested we need a squirrel emoji. And I think we all know who we're talking about when you have a squirrel emoji. But if you sign up to be a Supporters Club membership or member, this is a little bit extra, right? The true sicko level stuff, because we highly recommend you become a DLS diehard. But if you're already a diehard and you're watching, or even if you're not a diehard, if you're watching a lot to our live show, whether it's us, the Mavs, Rangers, Cowboys, you can sign up to be a Supporters Club member and you can have access to just those little extra things. The little SC Supporters Club badge in the chat when you put something in our chat, the little emojis, you can see the Bing Bong, the Stanley Cone, the Luds. Those little badges and emojis are only for you. And by the way, you do also get exclusive content only for Supporters Club members. Every now and then we release a video from one of the 4 shows that we have on DLS. And the Luds outtake ad reads is still by far my favorite. And I've watched it. I lived it. And I still laugh. So if you haven't had a good chuckle in a while, sign up to be a Supporters Club member and find that video because it is unfiltered Luds, and there's nothing funnier than that.
I think I had a little of that going on today when I was looking for extension cords.
I think so. Although I don't know if we were
off the chair.
I don't think we recorded that because the power was out though. So thankfully. All right. Let's talk about the second period in Luds. We're going to get to a second breakdown. Apparently, Ryan pulled out another little rabbit out of his hat or somewhere else because he has that one for you too. But before we get to the tying goal, Jason Robertson ripped one off the post. First chance of the second period. It looked like he had Gustafsson beat, clanged the iron there. Then a couple of good looks for the Wild. Hunter Haight cut to the middle from the left circle. I'm not sure if you really like the way the Stars were defending middle ice during those type of plays. Brock Faber did the same thing where he kind of skated in. There was a guy with him, but not really doing a whole lot. And Jake Ottinger came up with both of those saves.
Did you say something about how I liked how the Stars were defending the middle ice?
I didn't think you were real happy with that. That was what I said.
Yeah, and I think that's going to come up on the second goal.
Okay, well, before we do, Justin Ritzkovian stole a clearing attempt, I believe, from Zach Bogosian. Not necessarily a great pass attempt for the Minnesota defenseman. And Ritzy, with a great defensive play, stick on puck, stops it, rips one. Gustafsson makes a big save. The next scoring chance, Luds, is all yours, and it's Bobby Brink. And by the way, when he scored, you were already on your journey trying to get us out of the electricity void that we had fallen into.
Yeah, I was on a hunt. So this one here, the first, when I got a chance to look at it, oh, nice, Ryan. Good job. So if we're watching here, I want you to look. This is Liam Bischel, who's kind of closer to the top of the screen, sticking his right hand, coming across the blue line. So I was immediately, when I saw it, and again, it's a little easier to pick up, I'm like, Leon, where are you going? Like, what's happening here? So now that happens here, and you'll say, well, wait a second. There's Myers. Tyler Myers is right there on the blue line, and here's the guy. Now, I'm not putting all of this on Leon because Myers has to be able to look and see what's happening in the rest of the rink. Now, this shot doesn't look like it, and that's kind of why I was like, wait a second, what's happening here? He never picked up Brink, who was coming from the other side of the ice. But right behind Brink, guess who that is?
That looks like Matt Duchene.
That is Matt Duchene. And so Matt, when he was actually was in front of their bench, I believe. It was on the other side of the ice by the blue line here, the closer blue line on the bottom of the screen where they were out of the picture. Well, Matt kind of stopped his feet because he probably figured, Again, everything's taken care of. Don't ever trust them. Now, that's what, oh, good shot, Ryan. I want you to look at Matt Duchene's left hand. He is going, what's going on here? And and he's doing this as he's skating up here. Once he got just about to that blue line, he knew he wasn't going to catch Brink. And his reaction was, wait a minute, what's happening here? There you can see it again. Like, wait, I'm not supposed to have that guy. Well, maybe if he'd came all the way back, yes. But again, I'm not. I put this more on defensemen, be able to, because we see as defensemen, we see everything up ice. And then the rest of that is Bobby Brink. And here's what happened is, I don't know if you've got the next shot, but he bit on the move to the, there you go.
Oh, yeah, Ryan.
Good job, Ryan. He bit on that move when Brink went to his right on his forehand, and then just came back and tucked it in on Otter when he came back the other way. So it's a beautiful goal. I mean, it's a great goal. It shouldn't have happened. There were enough numbers to be back, but that's what happens when you get puck attracted and you're not seeing everything up ice.
And when you have two defensemen on the same side of the ice, that usually isn't conducive because, like you said, I understand that Myers sees the guy behind Bischel and he's trying to come help, but if he stays in the middle, there's a chance he's a 2-on-1 defender instead of a breakaway.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
don't ever. We learned a long time ago, folks, as defensemen, cardinal rule: don't ever trust a forward.
And we're going to learn that again a little bit later, aren't we, Lutz?
Oh, boy, are we ever.
So after the Brink goal, as you are trying to connect a series of extension cords, power strips, the extension cords, and the like, surge protectors is one of the words I was searching for. Maverick Bourque had a great chance. I was. Maverick Bourque drove to the net, forced a great save, and then not quite as dangerous of a chance, but he had a rebound where he was kind of falling down and pushed it wide left. But the first one was a big time shot for Maverick Bourque. And then there were a couple little chances to finish off the period, but that was the best one. But Luds, after 40 minutes of play, the shots on goal were 19 for Dallas and 17 for Minnesota, with the score tied 1-1. Pretty even Saturday afternoon division rivalry game.
I was thinking, as a fan, probably sitting in the seats there, of course, the Minnesota fans are going to be happy when they're leaving. But regardless, I think you'd walk away from that thinking it was a great game.
Yeah,
it was a great matinee for everybody that was in attendance. I mean, it went back and forth. There were quality scoring chances. There were great saves. There were just abouts. There was a little yelling and screaming going on. So it was a good game. Even though we didn't get to see the whole thing, it was a great game.
That's when we lead to the third period, which is blank because we had to leave the studio. And so I haven't been able to go through it like I would the rest of the game. So Luds, based on your high-speed pursuit of home on 35 and listening to Josh and Razor's voice raise higher or lower depending on enthusiasm, is there anything from the third period that you could take away?
Well, what I got, when you listen to Josh, sometimes I have a hard time because we're listening to Josh, because I know exactly when Dallas has the puck because his voice is up here and they're playing great. And then sometimes you're watching, like, well, that wasn't that great, but I get it. That's what you're supposed to do. So no, what I got out of it and I was able to see was both goaltenders were great. There were chances both ways. And then, and I was able to see most of that 4-minute power play goaltending. Gustafsson goaltending. And yeah, there were a couple just abouts there. But again, for me, I come out of this game today, it was a really good hockey game from people missing out of both lineups. And will we see when everybody's in the lineup and healthy, I got a funny feeling this is going to be a really, really good series if that's what it is in the first round.
Not to get ahead of ourselves, but even though we spent a lot of time talking about how Dallas and the President's Trophy and first place with Colorado is still very much up for grabs, and it is. They got a point today, and they're closer to Colorado. Of course, the Avs now with another game in hand. It certainly feels like the odds-on favorite is Dallas, the 2 seed, Minnesota, the 3 seed, meeting in the first round, doesn't it?
It does, but ultimately, isn't that most of that in Colorado's control? If they go on a run and they get their game back together and they start scoring like we know that they can, it's going to be. Again, it sounds like it's only 3 points, but again, there's points being given and taken and everything else.
Yep.
That's what it seems like. And it's too bad. I mean, for all three teams, they shouldn't be playing who they're playing. Well, Colorado's going to get whoever they get, or whoever finishes number one. It's got an easier, I don't know. Everybody says you got an easier path. Man, it's just different in the playoffs. Everything is different. So you never know if it's going to be easier or not. Careful what you wish for.
So, Luds, the third period, again, we listened to more than we watched, but there, as you said, two things that stood out to me. One was both goalies sounded like they played very well. We had 10 recorded shots on goal apiece, but the one thing that does stand out is, as you mentioned, the power plays. The Wild actually took 6 minutes in penalties in the third period because Jonas Brodin took a 2-minute minor midway through, and then Bobby Brink caught Sam Steele in the face with, I believe, the upper shaft of his stick. I know that sounds funny, but they were sort of coming together, and he raises his hands maybe in protection, but he caught Steele right across the face, ends up getting a 4-minute double minor for that. And in doing so, Dallas, who had the first power play goal of the game, the only one of the game, in 11 seconds, then proceeded in the rest of the game to have 8 minutes of power play time and nothing to show for it. On the scoreboard, they did have, as you said, plenty of shots. In fact, I believe they ended up with 9 shots on goal on the power play today, 8 of which after the robo goal in the first period.
When I was driving home, I was going to ask you about, so is that 9 total shots throughout the game? Power play?
9 total power play shots throughout the game, yes.
Yeah, so, and what did Dallas finish with? About 28 shots?
The final shots for Dallas were, like that vamping, 29.
Okay, so 20 even strength, or maybe a couple of short 8, whatever they do. So, okay, I actually thought it was going to be more lopsided. It felt like with the power play opportunities that they had probably a lot more power play shots. But again, they had their opportunities, and I think we all think that once everybody's back into the spots that they normally are, the results are probably going to be a little bit different. Even though the Dallas guys have been good, they're getting power play goals, getting at least one a night, it seems like.
And that was good because they had actually gone 0 for 5 over the last 2 games. It was their first extended stretch of more than one game without a power play goal since that 12-game power play goal streak. So good to get them back in it, but it felt very much, especially the 4-minute double minor, that was where they could have won the hockey game. And so kudos to Gustafsson and the Minnesota penalty kill, which, by the way, entered today. Their PK was 24 for 26. That's 92.3% in their last 10 games. Their penalty kill, Luds, this is not some flash in the pan today against Dallas. They've been very, very stingy on the PK.
Yeah, number one, it's goaltending. We know that. But they have guys that pay the price on the PK, and they're an aggressive kill. And when they can't, their structure is tight, and you can kind of take your own minutes away when you don't see the things, and you kind of work the perimeter bit too much. But they've always been, I thought they've always had guys out there that you can tell that Billy Guerin and their coaches really stress a lot about the penalty killing side of their game because they're usually pretty good at it.
So we have a little bit of time, but I want to let's start it. We have it, Luds. Overtime. And yes, Ryan cobbled it together quickly because, again, we're not in our studio now, but here is Vlad the Impaler. I'm sure he doesn't want that nickname, but Vladimir Tarasenko's game-winning goal in OT this afternoon in Minnesota.
Yeah, well, again, 3-on-3, the old specialty, part of the game, but you've got people in the right area, right? And so everything is fine where we are right now. Now, as the puck moves across in front of Jake to his right, keep an eye on Robo.
I see it.
Is number 21. And so, all he had
Luds,
to do,
the light is so pretty. I want to go to it.
Yeah, and it's called puck attraction. And, you get your eyes locked on it, and that's what happens. And Maverick was locked on. If Robo holds his ice, this pass obviously never happens. And that's generally what you're doing is you're letting 1-on-1s take place. You're letting 2-on-1s take place. What the team with the puck is trying to do, they're trying to create 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s. You're not supposed to help them. And then when Tarasenko got it and he didn't walk in, he sets himself up here. He takes a couple more steps in, and he had plenty of time, obviously, to pick his spot. And then he just goes up underneath the bar over Jake's right shoulder.
And he's such a great shooter that when you give him that time and space, you can't look at your goalie other than, oops, I'm sorry, we shouldn't have done that to you.
Yeah, there's another good look. Go back one more, Ryan. That's the look right there. And the player way to the left, on the far left in the white jersey, that's Robo. And you can see there's only two guys there. And Mr. Tarasenko is
right there.
And there it is.
Oh, no. And it's funny.
And so what you can see, look at
that shot.
Look at Robo's attempt to block it. I kind of giggled at that when I saw it. I'm like, dude, you're not even close. But anyway, and then, they're great shot.
Hey, Ryan, can you put up the very first frame of that goal again? So, Luds, when I first watched it, my eyes were drawn to Maverick Bourque, who, as you showed during the sequence, followed Quinn Hughes, and I wondered if maybe he should have passed him off to, is that Harley next to him, I think?
No, but this hit 3-on-3s, man on man.
Right, but then
so in Maverick's head, Thomas is over there. I believe that's Thomas.
I think so.
Yeah, so Thomas's guy is over there on the far side of the ice, and Maverick's right in front of this guy. And you basically what you're doing is just reading off each other. Most of the time, that's all it is. And so Maverick, now you go to the next one, Maverick goes with him. This is where Robo's got to read off of Maverick.
This is the one that really looks bad.
Yeah, but as you go back one, I'll promise you, and I don't know if you have it any further through the neutral zone. Do you have it there, Ryan?
I think that's the only one.
Okay, so I would be willing to bet that. Well, I watched it. Yeah, I know that once I forgot about that part. I did watch it. Once Robo got across the center line, he never really turned around and tried to find anybody else behind him. He was locked on. He was in. I understand it because Quinn Hughes can beat a couple guys, but again, this part of the game, you get locked on somebody, and there's always going to be little picks, so you have to be able to switch off at times. But yeah, this no good.
I want to ask you one more follow-up, but we have to do it on the other side of the ad break here as the Stars get a point for the, 17th time in 18 games, but they lose to the Wild, and we'll talk about one more question on that and get to your super chats here on the DLLS Stars postgame show.
If you love the NFL Draft, then this is your edge. The Die Hard NFL Draft Guide is built and based off of thousands of hours of film study, being boots on the ground, Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, Combine, talking to scouts, talking to coaches, really getting a feel for where these players are best going to fit and project in the NFL. We're talking hundreds of players in this class.
Cowboy fans, you got to have access to Fran Duffy's Die Hard Draft Guide because he knows exactly what the Cowboys are looking for and has in-depth scouting reports on everybody that can help this team. So help yourself and be informed about the NFL Draft. Make sure you got Fran's Draft Guide.
All right, so what are you going to find in the guide? Well, you're going to find player comps. You're going to find strengths, weaknesses, physical tools, analytics, highlights, analysis from all across the space, everything you need to try and determine who are the best players for your team. You get access to the guide if you're a diehard, and you'll also get access to a couple of individual breakdowns I'm doing specifically for your team. All right, look, if you want surface level breakdowns, you can get them anywhere, but if you want independent thought, if you want thorough breakdowns on all of these prospects, become a diehard, get the guide. Or you can get access to the 2026 guide for just $26. Let's win draft season.
All right. Before we get back to our post-game show, I have to remind everybody about being a diehard. You just saw the video from Fran Duffy talking about the ALLCITY NFL Draft Guide. If you would like access to that, all you have to do is sign up right there. See that little QR code right there? Scan that with your phone, mobile, whatever device you have, or just go to the website, even on your laptop, alldls.com, and that will take you right to our main website. You can click on Die Hard and sign up today. You'll get access for your first annual year for that draft guide and everything else that we offer here at ALLCITY and DLLS, including a shirt of your choice. Maybe you want to troll the Mavs and wear a Luka shirt. If it's still available, it is going to be on sale. That's one of the great big features of that. But you also get access to all the writing and everything else that we offer. Discounts on all merchandise, not just the free shirt you get for signing up for your first year of your annual subscription as a diehard, and many, many more things. The hats, you missed it now because we've already done it, but we did a diehard only March Madness bracket for free, only for diehards. We put the link into our DLS diehard only Discord channel through the Stars one, especially because our Stars Discord is by far the most active, and it is a lot of fun. And we do things with the Discord, including taking your questions, comments, and other fun things, and events and all that. So sign up to be a diehard today. Scan that QR code. Don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube or wherever you are listening on the audio version. We very much appreciate your support. All right, Luds, before we get to Super Chats, I want to take you back to that overtime goal one more time, because we frequently, and I think rightly so, look at all these goals on a Dallas Stars perspective. Why did this go in on an offensive goal? Why did it give up defensively? Sometimes I think that it's good to talk about the other side. And you mentioned Quinn Hughes. So, Ryan, if you throw that back up for me, I just want, Luds, if you're a Minnesota Wild fan, if you're Billy Guerin, and you see Quinn Hughes come in at speed and dart across and what he does to draw 3 defenders, you're praising him and Tarasenko for splitting that off as well, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, again, what Hughes does is he creates space for other people with his elusiveness and his tight turns, and it's hard to cover him. And again, when you're, in these situations, when you're trying to play man on man, it's hard to stay with him. I mean, any other place and time, 5-on-5, 4-on-4, you're going to get a little more help, because he can lose a defender very easily with the way he tightens, especially when he's on the blue line. The guy's got ice in his veins when he's on that offensive blue line. He makes moves literally 6 inches from the blue line with somebody on him, and he'll go to his left, and then he spins around somehow to the left, and the puck doesn't come outside of the zone. So yeah, he's the guy that breaks down so many things and just creates coverage problems all over the ice.
Believe it or not, now Jake Ottinger has lost. Oh, I mean, again, he got another point. He only has 1 regulation loss in his career against the Minnesota Wild, and it was the last time, December 11th, when the team went up there and scored a shorthanded goal, power play goal, led 1-0 and 2-1, and then lost. And in doing that, that was the first time they had a couple empty net goals, so it was 5-2, but it was really a 3-2 game. It was the first time he'd ever lost in regulation, home or away to the Wild. Couple OT boys, Luds. He's from there. He and his wife have an off-season home. That's their residence. Both of their families are up there. This game just means more at what used to be known as XL Energy Center, is now Grand Casino Arena. I'm sure he's disappointed, but it was not because of how he played today.
Oh, and I got to be honest with you.
You're just reading the comment and not thinking about it. I was trying to power through it.
Nothing, and I don't even know what that is. I want to say, what is 50 Shades of Grey?
Well, apparently it's probably a book that I don't even know. Is there one up there of that?
You're playing dumb. I just want to know, what is the book?
No. I know what 50 Shades of Grey is, but that is, I actually haven't read it.
Well, if you keep your head turned like that, we can see the 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of that. I'll blame 2 teenage boys. And
why are they making?
There's a lot of, I believe, sexual content in 50 Shades of Grey. I know my wife's read it, and I have not seen the movie, but I'm not against it. But anyway.
Oh,
yeah.
So wait, is that your wife's book up there then?
If it's, honestly, I don't even know if it's up there, but if it is, I can't even see it. If it is, it would be hers, but I would definitely read it at some point. So anyway,
it's a sex book, right?
more or less. What do they call that? Like it's like classy smut.
Right. I think Ryan nailed it. It's a sex
probably.
Book. Yeah.
All right. So let's get to your super chats. And if you want to talk more about the books behind me, you're going to have to pay for them, so to speak. So let's get to those super chats. Yeah, there we go. Kimber said it's a romance book, guys, right? So it's classier than that. Ardell with a Bishel and a Myers, aka as Luds calls them, the law firm, and I very much support that nickname. The Dallas Stars have earned points in every game but one since January 23rd. The team defense is the common denominator. Lundqvist deserves some love. Well, Luds, we were actually talking about the defense in the studio when we still had electricity today. Can you share your thoughts on Nils Lundqvist's performance over the last couple of weeks, month or so, especially since the arrival of Tyler Myers?
It hasn't changed. You know what I mean? I think before Tyler, and I would think that part of, and again, maybe the coaches have had conversations, when the trade was announced and things like that with Nils, but I would, it wouldn't surprise me if Nils thought when that trade was happening that he may not, they're going to put him there. That's what I mean. It's understandable if you thought that, but I think to the credit of Nils and Elaine and the coaching staff, they're like, we believe in 3 good pairs right now. And again, I asked you this when we were sitting there, when we actually had power today. I felt that really the Bishop Myers law firm is in the top 4, even though they're not. They're in the top 4. And when you went back and you looked at plus minus, I was curious what the plus minus and stuff was. That so and again, but then we did figure out that Nils was a -5, I think you said, but he got 4 of those in one game.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I think that I'm looking at this and I'm going, to me, now what you have is if you probably want to lead Trump with Miro and Essa when, let's just say, you're playing Edmonton. Yep. And if they got those 2 guys and one of them's out right now, but if they have Draisaitl as that second center, I would think that you would be comfortable taking the law firm and putting them against the Draisaitl line, and
the second most dangerous line,
and have Miro and Essa against their top lines.
And if you do that, what does that do for Harley and Lundqvist as a pairing?
Well, what it does is it kind of frees them up, even though they do well. Thomas plays free.
Yep.
but it frees them up because now all of a sudden you get your matchups and you're down on the third. You're going against the third or fourth line. Maybe that's where you can take advantage of it. But generally, the third and fourth line guys have some pretty good structure to them, and they're a little bit more physical, which that could be a downside of playing there. But again, I think what it can do is it can just help save on minutes for guys. I mean, when you talk about Thomas and then the top pair, I think you can have the confidence. Now, Leon's coming, and so are they gonna put him in the playoffs against the top line right now? I don't know if they feel comfortable with that right now. So I just think it really balances out the 6.
On the flip side, the confidence you have in Leon Bichsel now since before he got hurt this season.
Yeah, I didn't think Leon's game when he started this season, he did not pick up where he left off last year. I thought he made a ton of progress then. And again, we still see some of it where he gets a little attracted and wants to get into the piles and things like that. So now he's reading the game better. He's making the passes. Watch when he gets the puck now. And again, he gets it and he moves it right away. And that's what he's good at. He does that. The physical presence is still going to be there. That's always going to be the big part of him. But his stick is better. He's hanging around the front of the net more. There have been times this year where I've kind of pointed out where he may sometimes get attracted and he ends up going from a good area to a bad area because he's a little staring at the puck and there's already a guy on him there. But again, I think the more that he gets used to all of this, just the better it is. And there's days that in the last week or so I'm going, man, I wish Tyler Myers was like 29 or 30, and he would have a longer runway for those 2 guys to be a pair.
Well, Luds, you saw the clip from, I believe it was yesterday's practice when the Stars interviewed, I think it was Heika after practice, interviewed Tyler Myers. We played one clip this morning. Not this morning, but this afternoon's pregame show. One I didn't play was when he was asked about playing with Leon Bichsel, and he had very nice things to say about that pairing.
Yeah, and he should because again, I think he should because Leon's giving him the puck all the time, which Leon should do. You know what I mean? I'm going to make the right play, and if that's my partner, he's played for 17 or 18 years in the NHL. He's the veteran guy here. I can learn from him. So I think that's the right way to take. I thought you were going to talk about I think there needs to be a weekly Heika thing.
Would you like us to get that and talk about it? Do you want to do it tomorrow pregame, or would you like to wait till Monday?
We could probably wait till Monday.
Okay.
I will going to ask another stupid question today that we could probably use.
We could do a top 10 if you have the time.
We're going to have some of Nick's dumb questions. We're going to do something. We'll have to find it. Mike. You guys can go ahead and tweet or whatever you call it. What we can name that? What is it? Hey, Mike. That's what he got.
Hey,
right
Heika.
Now. Still do that? Does he still
does the Hey Heika? He did a Hey Heika a little while ago. Yeah.
It's Hey Heika now.
It's Hey Heika.
Oh, it used to be Hey Mike.
That was morning news. So I think with the Stars, he does Hey Heika.
Oh, that's how much I listen to Mike. But
yeah,
I didn't know there was any more. Okay.
A couple of super chats left, Luds. Talk hockey with me. That's Jordan. She's always a big supporter of our show. Thank you, Jordan, with a Haskin in 99. That was a heartbreaker, but man, I love this team. Go Stars. Thank you, Jordan. We do too. We're feeling a lot better about things now than we were earlier this season. Even with a good record, This team is playing differently. All right, let's go to Sean Shelley with a Lundqvist and a 99 Cup. Your Luds looks like the day drinking mentor for the Irish. Best Dallas Stars show online, period. Love you guys.
Well, let me just say this. I have this shirt. This shirt was picked out for St. Paddy's Day. You know, you get into the mood, and I like, you know, the holiday stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, the rest of the crew here all went down.
I'm still listening. I was just trying to find the book. I don't see it.
Well, Owen got sick, and Ryan got sick, and Sam got sicker. And so there was nobody left, and we had to do shows from home, so I never got to wear it.
And we were supposed to do a show on St. Paddy's Day, and then we switched it to a day off because of all of us feeling. And so Tuesday was supposed to be a show, and Thursday was off, and we flipped them because of how poor we all felt.
No, not we all.
Except for Lutz.
Yeah.
I'd give Ryan credit. Ryan felt better on Tuesday. He's actually looking way worse today. Yeah. He did not.
So is Sam, apparently. Sam's even worse than the worse he was yesterday.
Sam's worse than he was in the pregame show.
Oh, yeah.
So he, as by the hour, getting worse. I do want to thank everybody for your patience today with us as far as having to relocate, because we did not think that we were going to have to go from the studio to remote, from pregame to postgame, from the middle of the second period. But we pivoted. You guys hung with us, and that was great. Luds.
Yeah.
Depending on what's going on with that city block that resides our studio, we may be in studio. We might not. We might be here.
Why, is this a big city thing or something, or what?
I mean, it was at least our block, right? Because the restaurant next door, which you like to frequent, didn't look like it had any TVs on, right?
Yeah, there were no lights. There was nothing going on.
So imagine that it wasn't just us, although we did have partial light. It was a weird day today.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense that you would shut your business down just because, oh, well, no, I guess internet, you can't charge anything and all that kind of good stuff, I suppose.
I'm sure. Yeah, well, you know, a lot of people don't carry cash like they used to either. So that could be a tricky thing. But anyway, the point of all this is that we are supposed to have a show tomorrow. We will have a show tomorrow. Location to be determined. Stars are probably, if they're not on the plane, on their way to said charter, because they're heading home. They will play the Vegas Golden Knights for the second half of this back-to-back. By the way, this is back-to-back 11 of 12 this year. Next weekend at Pittsburgh at Philly, which isn't a terrible flight, but that's their final of 12 back-to-backs this year, and they've been really, really good this year in those 2 games in 2-day sets. So, Luds, you watched Vegas this afternoon. They were playing in Nashville. So at least both Vegas and Dallas have to travel to Dallas. It's not like the Golden Knights are waiting. Would you give us your 10 seconds of what Vegas looked like today?
Well, just before
very nice.
Just before we step back into the Stone Age, I think it was 4-1 for the Preds.
How many shots did they have by that point?
It was, the shots were 23-6 for Vegas. Now Vegas is having goaltending issues, so they don't.
Shmi was in net today, and he was in for all of those goals.
Did you get a final?
Let's take a look at that final, because I would assume, Luds, because Shmi played today, that we're going to see Aiden Hill in the net for the Golden Knights tomorrow, most likely against Casey DeSmith. 4-1 was the final. Nashville, 20 shots on goal. Vegas, 40. And, of course, Nashville scored 4, and the Golden Knights had 1. Akira Shmi, all 4 goals on 20 shots, so he had an 800 save percentage versus our boy Eustace Anunin, who stopped 39 of 40 and had a 975 save percentage for the Preds today. How about that? Because Saros picked up an injury, and so Matt Murray was actually backing up Anunin today. There you go. So anyway, as Luds does this, we are done. Pre-game show will be at 5:15, we think. We think it'll be in the studio. If not, if we're home, then it'll be a rare Stars game where I'm not in the arena for most of it. And we'll just sort of play it by ear. But we'll have a show pregame tomorrow, and Sean is scheduled to be on our postgame show. So we should have at least 3 of us for the postgame, Luds. Maybe 4? Who can say? All right. For Craig Ludwig and his extremely festive shirt, he definitely got his money's worth out of that. Ryan Vodder's our producer. Our very under the weather Sam Nessler. I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for checking out the books behind me. I recommend big time the Ken Follett, the Nelson DeMille, and the Carl Hyacin, all fantastic. And of course, anything by Michael Crichton. Join us tomorrow, Stars and Golden Knights here on DLS. Enjoy your set.
We all silly like the mayor.